So good morning everybody, Carlos here, just starting off another run. Today I'm going to be running to Low Runner Park. I can't remember if I've done a video there, I think I probably did, but this one will be using my phone instead of my point and shoot camera. So this is one of the main trailheads to the park. You can see all the cars here. I'm going to stay in talking effort within zone 2 and 3 mainly. Hi there! There goes Jim. He's going to be cycling up and down the road of Mount Doug. He does 5 or 6 summits, but I'm going to be going over the lower trails off towards Lochside Trail and then the bog. Well, not quite the bog. I'm going to turn off on Lochside, go up Robinwood Stairs to the little subdivision called Donwood, of which Low Runner Park is a small cul-de-sac. This is the power line trail. There won't be much running going on right now, so you can appreciate a steadier view. There's a squirrel or two over there. There's one looking for nuts, acorns. He's got one in his mouth. All right, so the running happens in about 4 minutes when I get to the top of this climb. And then I go across the meadows down to Blenkinsop Road, and from there over to Lochside Trail. Now, all the trails that you're very familiar with. Here's one of those fabulous Douglas fir trees. The sap running. It's more like resin, it's not sap. Not really. It's not like a maple tree. That sap is very resinous. I mean the sap from the Douglas fir. It's more like what you get from pine trees. Tar, pine tar, that kind of stuff. It's what they originally made chewing gum from. I think it's called mastika in Greek. It's the sap from a pine tree that they used to chew on for that resiny flavor. So this power line that runs up the middle of this trail above my head is to power the pump at the top of Mount Douglas, where there is a water tank with water for this neighborhood. They pump it up and the gravity brings it back down again on demand. So the pump doesn't have to run continuously. I can't really hear Samantha, so I'm having to do all of this by feel today. That's why I have to be a little bit on the cautious side, so I don't blow my gasket too early. This run is going to be about 5 miles in total. I could hear Samantha well if I put my earbuds in, but then I would be stuck with the audio recording from my tinny earbuds, which are fine for telephone quality, but the inbuilt microphones on the bottom of the iPhone 8 are better at capturing the nuances of sound, which is what I'm after at the moment, the nuances of sound. I've never worn the camera so close to my chin before. Not only did I raise the harness so that it's up above my solar plexus, almost just below my collarbone, in fact, but there are two possible screw settings on the clip that holds the phone to the harness. One is for the horizontal positioning and one is for the vertical positioning. So if I have it so that the positioning is up, I can still put the phone horizontally in the clip. So I get, yet again, another inch or two closer to the source of the sound, my voice. In a way, this trail is good because it gets us to the running section a little quicker. So I'm saying it's going to be 5 miles or 8k, but cannot really guarantee that. Hello. Cannot really guarantee that. Might be 7.89 or something like that. Okay. The last little steep bit before I start getting into the glory zone of running down, down, down. Let me just check that I'm still recording. Hang on a second. Yep, I'm up to 7 minutes 38 of clear video for you before I start joking around again. I'll try and run as smoothly as possible. I also tighten the straps a lot, so they're now at the tightest setting to try and eliminate some of the harness bounce. Now, this corner it's like a super highway. That would be the way to go up to the summit. That is Glendenning coming down there. Hi there. And this is the top of the hill repeats that Norma and I occasionally run together. I haven't done hill repeats for a while now as I start my descent. Hello. Running behind. Hi there. Coming by. Thank you. Alright, I can feel a little bit of bounce going on, but hopefully not too distracting. I have to watch out that I don't trip on the roots. This is a really nice trail that goes across the side of Mount Douglas. Just giving this runner a chance. Come on through. Yeah, there's been horses along here. There are a couple of dude ranches on Glendenning. That's where the horses start their little ride. I hope that Samantha isn't giving stupid numbers as I can't really hear her. I turned her volume down a little bit. Excuse me. That was my porridge. As I start to head down again, briefly, and I swing around to the right to go up to the meadow, briefly once again, and then down to Blenkinsop Road. Last time I did a video from my phone, it turned out pretty good, but I forgot how large the files tend to be, so this one I reduced the quality a little bit to 120 instead of being HD, which I think is the default setting on the phone. I'm not sure about that. Erring on the side of caution here. The idea is to stay vertical for the whole run as I deep around the rugged rocks. So I have come off 2 days of working. Yes, I said working. I was working at Little Piggy's Catering Services as the dish pit operator and general factotum, which means in Latin, do everything. Factotum, not totem pole, but the Latin totem is everything, and factotum is to do everything. Totalitarian, the total, all those words come from the Latin totum. So, as I pop out onto the meadows, checking that my jacket isn't obscuring the lens. I mean, occasionally it might flip over a little bit, but as long as it's not blocking the lens for an entire minute or two, I think you'll let me get away with that. So the meadows are roped off, as you see. Well, for those watching, as they see. The audio people will just have to imagine. They will have to look at my blog post for photographs of the roped off section. Unfortunately, with the phone strapped to my chest, I am reluctant to take it off to take incidental photographs. That would be too much of an interruption in the flow of the run. After all, it is all about the run. I'm not sure what to call this episode. It could be Acoustic Nuances. I have said that a few times, but I'm not sure I know how to spell nuances. I'll have to check that up. Unless something else springs to mind, unless I get attacked by a cougar, I think we'll leave the title much as it is. Unless something more memorable happens than me testing the acoustic nuances of my phone recording under my chin. I'm assuming Samantha is still talking to you, but I have her turned down way low. Oops. Almost snagged my toe under a root. Some of these ones loop so that you could put your foot in the loop and you wouldn't win. You would definitely lose in that scenario. You would be twanged face down in the dirt. I hear a chopper. Hello. Yep, there's definitely a heliocopter above me. It's probably one of the Harbour Air helijet type transportation to Vancouver. Mind you, the Vancouver flight by helijet is supposed to be 31 minutes from door to door, from the inner harbour in Victoria to the inner harbour in Vancouver. 18 minutes from the inner harbour of Victoria to the inner harbour of Nanaimo, which is the second largest city on Vancouver Island. A lot of people, when they first get married, they move to Nanaimo to buy their first homes because the property prices are much more reasonable there. For a house that would cost you $1 million here in Victoria, you could probably get it for $700,000 in Nanaimo, which for a first-time home buyer would mean they would be getting more property and more land. Mind you, they would be out in the boonies there, in a smaller city with slightly less opportunities than Victoria for worldwide fame. Mind you, Diana Krall, the jazz musician, grew up in Nanaimo. I think she is from Duncan, which is a satellite town to Nanaimo almost. Duncan is a lot closer to Victoria. That's only about an hour away. As I pop out onto Blenkinsop Road, that's Christmas Hill way over there in the distance. And the Blenkinsop Valley where the Longhorn cattle live. In one of those 3 fields down there. They move them around according to where the farmer wants the dung and where the pasture is rich enough for those prime cattle. So this is the only noisy section that you're going to hear today. I'm going to try and do this as one continuous video just to see how much I can do with this phone. I'm at about 3.5 kilometers now. As I turn onto Lowbrunner, I'm going to tilt the phone briefly to see if it's still rolling. Yep. 19 minutes so far as I run down. think there's slightly less bounce today. I'm being quite deliberate with my footfalls, deliberately softening the landing, which is a good practice basically. It means, like with skiing moguls, if you bend the knees, you don't take quite so much jarring on your joints. Excuse me. This tight harness is making me belch. So Jim Fiddler is probably at the top of Mount Doug for the first time now, cycling down. His payback is a 1 mile coast downhill for 1 whole mile. I'm just trying to figure out if I've ever done a longer than 20-minute clip with the phone. Probably not. There's a flock of, I think they're ducks. Yep, ducks. They're not quite as big as geese. Or maybe they are geese. Seeing them a little closer now. So this is Lochside Trail. In a way, having a continuous video will give you an excellent view of a typical run in my domain. You've seen the lower trails of Mount Doug. You've seen the meadows. You're seeing Lochside. Whoops. It's now flipped right down. I wonder how much of my shoes you saw. Probably quite a bit, but that's okay. Maybe I didn't flip the camera back up after I was checking how much video I had logged. So where those people are is where I will turn. Hello, Donwood Park. And the Donwood Stairs coming up. Yep, with any luck, this video will end when I get to Lowbrunner Park. At the moment, I have 23 minutes of video. Pretty soon, when I stop recording, I can get back to listening to a rather interesting podcast that I was listening to about Tecumseh, the chief of an Indian tribe, and I can't remember now, was it Hamilton? One of those founding generals. Oh, bit of a broken step there. That would have been treacherous. It's all rotting. It's all rotting, I tell you, as I climb up to Donwood Park. I never get the names wrong when I'm here. It's when I'm describing them in the near future. And that is when I get the names wrong. as I pop out to show you the view of Mount Douglas from Donwood Park. There you go. It's a nice little winter coat for that dog. I like your dog's coat.
Thank you.
Looks like a leopard skin print. Past the carved tree. Over there with the smiley face. A little bit of walking, just so you get a chance to regain your breakfast. Yep. A lot of people say that my videos make them seasick. Well, I'm sorry about that. I guess we're not all sailors. Now this is my turn-off to the left, which will take me to my final destination at Lowbrunner Park. As I swing around, I might well see deer. Deer like these quiet cul-de-sacs. I haven't been here for a month now, so I've noticed quite a lot of Christmas decorations going up. As I walk a little bit, assuming that I'm in zone 3. From my breathing I can tell I'm working quite hard. Probably harder than I should. As I pop down to see the ducks at the beach, I will say bye-bye to you for my midweek show. Bye-bye.